It started with a single vibration of my phone, a group chat notification. I opened it absent-mindedly while stirring a pot of pasta in the kitchen. And then my heart stopped. It was an image. My husband, naked, explicit. Sent in broad daylight to me, to my sister, to his cousin, to friends we hadn't spoken to in months. The blood drained from my face. I dropped the spoon and the metal clattered on the tile floor. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I thought it was some kind of cruel joke. A deep fake, maybe. My hands trembled as I scrolled, and then another picture appeared, and another. Different poses, different angles, all of them unmistakably real. I ran to the living room. He was sitting there on the couch, scrolling his phone like nothing had happened. "What the hell is this?" I screamed, shoving the screen in front of his face. His eyes widened, his body stiffened, and then too quickly, he whispered, "They're old, before we met." I wanted to believe him. God, I needed to believe him. But then I noticed it. The curtains in the background, the gray walls, the cheap little lamp we bought from IKEA last summer, our flat. The pictures weren't old at all. That night, he confessed. We sat across from each other at the kitchen table, the untouched pasta between us turning cold. His face was pale, his hands twisting around each other like he was trying to wring water out of his own skin. "She found me on a dating app," he said, his voice trembling. It wasn't supposed to be anything real. We exchanged photos. She threatened me. She said if I didn't pay, she'd send them to everyone. I didn't know what to do. I stared at him in disbelief. "You paid her?" He nodded, eyes downcast. "How much?" The silence before he answered was unbearable. $5,500. I thought I misheard him. "What?" "Our savings," he whispered. "The down payment money, it's gone." My entire body went cold. 2 years of marriage, 4 years together, and this was the man I thought I knew. "I swear I never met her," he pleaded. "It was only online, just pictures, that's it." I laughed, a bitter, broken laugh. "Do you think that makes it better? Do you think it hurts less that you were planning to cheat instead of actually doing it?" His face crumpled, but I couldn't find pity in me anymore. All I felt was rage and humiliation. The fallout was immediate and brutal. By the next morning, the images had spread further. Friends avoided my calls. My mother refused to look me in the eye when she came over, her face red with embarrassment. His boss called to say his conduct had raised questions at work, that professionalism was expected even outside the office. And me? I became collateral damage. Everyone knew. Everyone whispered. The shame clung to me like a second skin. I tried to go grocery shopping and felt the cashier's eyes on me, as if she'd seen the photos herself. I walked past our neighbors and imagined their hushed voices, their laughter after I passed. I wanted to disappear. At night, he tried to touch me, to hold me. I pushed him away. "Don't!" I spat. "Don't you dare!" But when I lay awake in the dark, the thought clawed at me relentlessly. He didn't just betray me with his body. He betrayed our dreams, our future, the house we were saving for, the security I thought we had. And worst of all, he had betrayed me in front of everyone we knew. 2 days later, after countless arguments and hours of silence between us, he finally went to the police. I went with him, not out of support, but because I wanted answers. The officer behind the desk listened carefully, took notes, and then sighed. "It's happening more and more," she said. Unfortunately, in many of these cases, the perpetrators aren't even in this country. Tracking them down is close to impossible. What you describe, extortion for money, release of images, fits the pattern of an overseas scam operation. So, that's it? I asked, my voice shaking. You're telling me someone can destroy our lives and you can't do anything? The officer's face softened. I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you want to hear. But even if we identify them, prosecuting across borders is almost impossible. The best thing you can do now is to cut off contact and secure your accounts. I turned to my husband. His face was pale, guilt written all over it. Do you hear that? I hissed. You threw away everything, for nothing. He didn't answer. He just stared at the floor. The nights were the worst. He tried to act like nothing had changed. He cooked dinner. He put on Netflix. He asked about my day. But I couldn't stand the sight of him. Every time I looked at his face, I saw the betrayal. I saw the 5,500 that was supposed to be our home. I saw the photos. I saw the humiliation. One night, when he reached for my hand, I snapped. Don't touch me, I said. He froze. Please, he whispered. I made a mistake, a huge mistake, but I didn't. I didn't love her. I didn't even know her. I laughed bitterly. You didn't need to love her. You needed to respect me, respect us, and you didn't. Tears welled in his eyes. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix this. You can't, I said flatly. You broke something that can't be fixed. That was the first night I packed a bag. I went to my sister's house, suitcase in hand. The moment she opened the door and saw my face, she knew. She sat me down, poured me tea, and let me cry until my chest ached. Finally, I whispered the words I had been holding back for days. I can't stay. I can't forgive him. She nodded slowly. No one would blame you. What he did. It's unforgivable. But what about the future we planned? I asked. My voice was hollow, desperate. The house? The kids? Everything? Plans can change, she said softly. But betrayal like this, it leaves scars. Do you want to spend the rest of your life wondering if he's lying to you again? Her words sank into me like knives. For the first time, I admitted it not just to her, but to myself. I couldn't stay. Our marriage was over. When I returned home to collect the rest of my things, the flat felt heavier than ever. He was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at the same cold cup of coffee he'd been nursing for hours. I know why you're here, he said quietly. I didn't answer. I started gathering clothes, documents, little pieces of myself I'd left scattered in that place. Finally, he spoke again, his voice cracking. I know I destroyed everything. I don't deserve another chance. But, please, don't leave me like this. I looked at him, really looked at him for the first time since it happened. His shoulders slumped, his face lined with regret. You want me to forgive you, I said softly. But every time I see you, I'll remember. Every time I hear your voice, I'll think about those messages, those photos, the money you threw away. It's not just the betrayal, it's the shame you brought into my life. He buried his face in his hands. I'm sorry, he whispered. I know, I said, but sorry isn't enough. Word spread quickly. Friends who had once admired us now looked at me with pity. Family members avoided the topic altogether, their silence louder than any question could have been. I felt stripped bare, as if everyone could see the cracks in my life. Some colleagues at my job whispered behind my back, not about me, but about him. I overheard one say, "Did you see the photos?" Poor thing. Imagine being married to that. I wanted to scream, to tell them it wasn't me who sent the photos, who betrayed, who humiliated. But it didn't matter. In their eyes, we were one. And so I carried the shame as if it were mine, even though I knew it wasn't. It didn't take long. The papers were signed within months. When the final day came, we met in a sterile office, separated by a wooden table and a lawyer who barely looked at either of us. He tried to speak, to catch my eye, but I couldn't look at him. The man I once thought I'd spend my life with was gone. All that remained was the shell of a marriage that had rotted from the inside. When it was over, I walked out into the crisp air, breathing deeply for the first time in what felt like years. I was free, broken, but free. It has been a year since everything fell apart. The pain is still there. Memories that creep up when I least expect them. But there is also strength. Strength I never thought I had. I've rebuilt myself piece by piece. New routines, new goals, new people in my life. I learned that trust, once shattered, may never return, but self-respect can be reforged. Sometimes, when I look back, I still feel anger. But more often now, I feel relief. Relief that I didn't stay in something that would have destroyed me more slowly than the betrayal itself. My confession is simple: leaving him saved me, and that is the sweetest revenge of all.